Okay, so I'm going to do my case presentation as if I'm doing it with my supervisor. So, I just finished my interview with a new client named Leah. She is 7 years old. She's an elementary school student. She's been referred to me for treatment by her teacher because she's a survivor of a sniper shooting at her school, and her teacher as well as her parents have started to see maladaptive behavior since the incident. Potential criterion for PTSD, in my opinion, so that's why she was referred for services. A little bit of background regarding the shooting. It happened about 2.5 months ago. One student was shot and killed. Leah did witness this. She states vivid memories of seeing the student fall to the ground and bleed out. In a moment of stopping of shooting, she was able to leave from behind the trash can she was hiding behind and then get to a safer area. She did not know the student that was killed, nor the sniper who committed suicide after completing the shooting, which went on for about 15 minutes. And then they had to wait, for police to come in and ensure the area was safe to evacuate all the students. Since the incident, Leah has been exhibiting loss of attention, moodiness. She's argumentative with peers. She is restless when it comes to sleeping, not doing as well on her schoolwork. She's been asking to sleep with her parents a lot, so they've been stating that she's, wakes up crying and screaming out in the middle of the night. As well as, which is probably most concerning right now, she did actually walk out in front of a car because as a result of, maybe the anxiety and potential malnutrition and lack of sleep, she actually walked out in front of a vehicle and was almost hit and doesn't even really, remember being coherent enough to know what was going on. Again, she is only 7 years old, so a lot of these behaviors are extremely concerning. So, let's see. Some strengths that Leah has, to only be 7 years old. In the interview I had with her, the fact that she is able to vividly remember the order of events that happened. She seems to be very aware of her emotions and her cognitions and kind of how they are affecting her. She is exhibiting coping mechanisms by avoiding the playground where the shooting occurred. I've gathered that I think she walks home from school, so she just doesn't walk on the street or anywhere near where the shooter lived. And so she seems to already be recognizing, these are the situations and the places and the people that are triggering for me, and this is how, I'll go about avoiding these situations, which at 7 years old is extremely resilient for, experiencing this kind of trauma. I think that Leah's feeling unsafe. The two environments that most 7-year-olds are in are going to be school and home. And these are both environments that are no longer safe for her or stable for her. She probably feels a lack of protection from her parents because they're the ones that sent her to school, from her teachers because they're the ones that were at school with her, from, the neighborhood. The sniper lived close by to the school. That's the route she takes to and from home every day. Even the fact that it happened on a Friday, she now feels more uncomfortable going to school on Fridays than any other day. So just an immediate result of this surviving, this sniper shooting is that all of her systems and all of the context in which she spends all of her time have kind of been ruined, essentially. So I think the lack of trust and stability and safety in all of her systems has resulted in some of these, coping behaviors that we see. She is triggered again by any kind of loud gun-like noise, even students yelling out answers in class, people's places and things, anything that seems similar to the event or, you know, relates to the environment where the shooting occurred to her. The coping behavior she's exhibiting, again, I think for what she's experienced and how young she is, I think she's actually doing a very good job of coping with the incident, which makes me very hopeful and having a positive outlook towards her treatment. Because, you know, while she, you know, we obviously don't want her falling behind in school or anything, but she doesn't seem to be, you know, showing any aggressive behaviors or any form of lashing out or anything like that, or any negative self-talk or self-harming behaviors or anything like that. She likes playing nurse with her siblings, where she reenacts like her being the one that ends up getting bandaged up and saved by the nurse, which I think is a way of just reformulating like a feeling of safety in her mind. Again, I think her coping behaviors of just knowing to avoid triggering situations and people and environments is actually, you know, a healthy coping mechanism that seems to be working for her right now. I do think there's criterion for PTSD, so I think in terms of her treatment plan, and definitely first would be to kind of assess the physical ailments that she's been experiencing, you know, the lack of sleep, nutrition, relationships with peers, just recreating a support system for her, utilizing her parents and her siblings and her teachers and any clinicians that are in the school, and utilizing those to rebuild a support network for her. Her teacher said that she's cut off her friends, and just, you know, creating a sense of control and routine in her school life as well as her home life again, to kind of give her back that sense of safety and control that she, you know, hopefully had prior to this event. Let me see, I forget. Yeah, I think just talking with her at first and establishing more, really, you know, diving into her thoughts and her feelings surrounding the event without re-traumatizing. And she seems to be, you know, intelligent and competent enough to be able to maybe explain what will help, you know, her to feel safe again. I think through talking that through with her, we can, you know, figure out what situations we can create that are going to help her feel safe again. I also think it's important to kind of speak with her teachers and her parents more surrounding the systems. So the school district, the police department, her family, her classrooms, and determining what they're doing in the aftermath of this situation, because that's also going to play a really big part in the students' behavioral wellness. Is, you know, what are all of these systems doing to handle this trauma and kind of rebuild as a community, and what are we doing, you know, to help the mental wellness of community members to ensure that something like this doesn't happen again. Definitely a lot of interplay required between all of these different systems. And that's it, I think. So, thanks.